at what point do we need to notify our broker or our carrier that an incident has occurred? Is it the morning that the CIO walks in my office and says something weird is happening? What's that trigger point? So I don't know, Alyssa, if you can provide any guidance on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks, Al. And it's timely because it's a question that we get on the broker side, and I used to get this, also all the time on the carrier side. Is companies are very worried sometimes about putting their carrier on notice just solely because they're afraid that it's going to raise their premium. I caution any company, if you think it's just one laptop's been compromised, even the slightest bit, you opened an email, looked suspicious, an employee clicked on an email that might have had an attachment that was phishing, and then they're potentially going to put malware into your system. The number one question is, well, what if it's just an incident and doesn't rise to the level of a quote unquote claim? I say no matter what, absolutely put your carrier on notice, because you don't want to be penalized for a late notice issue. You're better off potentially annoying the carrier 10 times saying, okay, I had this small incident, nothing comes from it, than not letting them know about that small incident that 3 months later you discover is malware that's been on your system, and now you have a huge issue with potentially potentially much more costs that are going to result in a much bigger exposure than you wouldn't have had if you just had if you had notified them in the first place. Again, you don't want to run afoul of a late notice issue and complete denial of coverage. So even if you think it's just a tiny issue and you're worried that this might impact my premium, you really need to reverse your thinking and put it more in terms of, okay, well, how do I maximize the coverage that I do have under my policy instead of potentially not getting any coverage at all? And one other point I just want to bring up here before we get into some of these other legal issues is, Al touched on before, certainly insurance coverage, cyber insurance coverage is a fantastic way to transfer the risk, where you will get the benefit of all of these expert firms and legal counsel. But also just understand that we at NFP have relationships with cybersecurity vendors and law firms such as Shikardi and others that we have very discounted rates with that can help you in the event that you are the victim of some sort of incident. So, great if you have the insurance, and we walk through all the steps and why it's so important to notify, but also know that we have resources that we can provide that can assist you on the proactive side as well as on the reactive side.